When Journey Together comes to Pokemon TCG Live on Thursday, March 27th at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, two new free decks will be given away as part of the Battle Pass. This time around, it's Hop Zacian EX and N Zoroark EX, which are the best ones they could give, considering that Lily really only has Clefairy and INO is a massive disappointment. Assuming they don't change anything, when you log into PTCGL for the first time after Journey Together launches, the Hop Zacian EX deck will automatically be added to your decks. If you can't find it, just scroll all the way down. When you do, this is what you'll get for free. And I gotta say, the value here is insane. Not only are there 3 Zacian EX, but you also receive a 3/3 line of Archaludon EX, which is doing extremely well post-rotation in Japan, a 2/2 double line, and everything else you need to make this deck awesome. I compared this to the Zacian Archaludon deck I featured in my Journey Together preview video, and it's crazy how competitive they made this thing right off rip. Now, typically I'd gloss over the hyper rare card rewards like a lip, but in case you forgot, overnumbered cards are getting a 6-month crafting ban starting with Journey Together. So for example, these illustration rare versions of Zacian and Zoroark can't be manually crafted, as their card number is over 159, which is the amount of cards in the main set. Basically, if it's a full art or illustration rare or gold card, you won't be able to spend your trade credits to craft them unless you wait 6 months. The good news is that by reaching tier 33 on the Battle Pass, you'll receive all of these cards for free. Well, you'll actually get 3 of the Zacian EX with the 4th a little later. So for everyone who wants to bling out their Hop Zacian EX deck with a playset of cards featuring Hop and Zacian, play live for like a week and you're good to go. Then at tier 34, you'll unlock this N Zoroark EX deck for free. I'm not saying they dropped the ball with this list, but let's just say it doesn't get N's PP up nearly as much as the Zacian one. The good news is that it has every meaningful N's card. There's a full 4/4 line of Zoroark, giving you card draw and your main attacker. Darmanitan offers up a great attack to copy, hitting the active for 90 and sniping 90 to a bench Pokemon. And Reshiram is just a smooth 170 with its second attack. But if Zoroark has at least 170 damage on it, you can copy Powerful Rage, then take big one-shots. The problem is that you only have N's Pokemon. Pheasantipede EX is free in the Hop deck, so add that in. A copy of Petrarunt EX isn't bad either, and you can cut the Power Glass to make room for them. You should also remove some Darkness Energy for a couple of Reversal Energy so Darmanitan can attack. By getting to tier 64 or so of the Battle Pass, you'll end up with 4 of these Zoroark EX, 2 Reshiram, and some hyper rare trainers. It's worth noting that the overnumbered cards crafting ban will only affect new cards beginning with Journey Together. Old cards are unaffected, so if there's a special illustration rare from Prismatic Evolutions or Surging Sparks that you want, it's still craftable. Finally, from tier 64 to 75 of the Battle Pass, you'll get a gold INO's Bellybolt EX, and Zoroark EX, and Spiky Energy, as well as booster packs, trainer points, trade credits, cosmetics, and collector crates. As a reminder, the free Hop Zacian and N Zoroark decks will only be available for 2 months. When Destined Rivals arrives on May 29th, they'll be replaced by 2 new free decks, which we'll learn about closer to launch. For the Journey Together free decks, Hop Zacian is insane. You could easily use it as is to reach Arceus League. And Zoroark, meanwhile, does need some improvements, but all the components are there. To save time, I won't do an upgrade guide for these decks. Instead, just check out my best new free decks in Journey Together video, which covers the best ways to play Zacian and Zoroark. But if you don't want to give me the 1/3 of a cent in ad revenue I get from you watching those, here's what a B-tier Zacian Archaludon deck looks like. You basically just take out the double line, add a second Snorlax, add a Latias EX, and swap out Scoop Up Cyclone for Prime Catcher. For Zoroark, this B-tier list isn't too far off the free build. You add the Pheasantipede and Petrarunt I mentioned earlier, a 3rd Darumaka, and a few other bells and whistles to shore up some of your weak points. All in all, making the necessary upgrades to either of these decks shouldn't cost more than 1,000 trade credits. Now that we know the cards in the Zacian deck, I can upgrade the crafting guide list. Zacian EX double, 1 each of Snorlax and Cramorant, 1 redeemable ticket, and a few trainers reduce the amount by about 4,000 trade credits. So now it only takes around 17,000 to craft all the best cards in Journey Together. And if you don't mind waiting until tier 34 of the Battle Pass for all the free Zoroark cards, that's a saving of another 4,000 or so credits. Although nothing's confirmed, we should know about the 2025 default free decks early next week, which could include a lot more of the staple cards from Journey Together. Once they're announced, I'll post about them here, so make sure you're subscribed. Because if you don't, Dragapult EX will be one of them, and you'll face it every other game all year.